Super Smash Bros. Has always felt like the ultimate party game. Being well-rounded, it is hard to be bad at, yet very hard to be good at. So if I track the progress of my first 100 hours in the game, how good could I get? But what does being good at Smash mean? Well, to me it would mean being able to beat a level 9 CPU, the hardest level in Smash Ultimate, within a few tries by the end of this 100 hours. So let's just gauge my skill at the start of this challenge, because instead of just setting a timer for 100 hours and playing while it ran, which is what I originally wanted to do with this video, I decided to instead play until the total time played in Smash Ultimate, according to my Switch, said 100 hours. I only did this for a more accurate representation of exactly 100 hours, because this would also include the time that I would play off camera with friends or just alone. Because before starting this challenge, I had played for around 20 hours, which is by no means long, but enough time to develop a base level of knowledge in the game. But I wanted to change that. I started by unlocking all the characters, because of the 74 characters available in Smash excluding DLC, I only had 49, and figured that any practice with the game in these early stages at all would be helpful. So I went down to the place where you rematch all the characters you've already lost to, because to be able to play a character, you have to beat them. And clearly I had lost to a lot of them. And after challenging one after another, losing to some, but just getting a feel for the game again. Now, I had been using Kirby to beat all of these characters so far, which was fine for now, but my goal for this challenge was to find a character to main. One that I could really hone my skills into and always fall back on. One that wasn't Kirby. Because while he is great and all, he is an incredibly simple character that is easily readable and not super complex, which is great to start off with, but not great overall. But I hadn't decided who I wanted to focus on yet, and wouldn't decide for a little while, just still feeling out Kirby against these CPUs when I defeated all the ones I'd lost to prior in about an hour. I then began to fight random level 5 CPUs until I found the last few characters I didn't yet have. And after some really close matches, get him out of here. I had unlocked all the characters. Still, with no idea which character to main, I kept playing level 5 CPUs until I was able to beat them pretty consistently, and then moved on to level 6 and back and forth. Just keeping playing the game, which, and I know this is gonna sound crazy, is the best way to improve. I played for several streams just trying to get the controls down and get more comfortable with the game again, but picking up another character seemed so daunting. I finally decided that I wanted to try Greninja. I had no idea how good he was in Smash, but that went for any character, and I've obviously played Pokemon and I'm quite fond of Greninja overall. But I had no idea where to start, so I decided to look up a video on how to play Greninja.
And here, dash attack, dash down tilt, short hop up air drag downs, and dash down tilt.
Wait, what is it even talking about? Am I like this out of terminology? Hearing words like anti-air, dash attack, down tilt, and smash attack, what did it all mean? At the time I had no idea, but wanted to clear it all up for you just to make this next section a bit easier to understand. Also, all of these are based off Greninja, so some may vary from character to character, but generally all of these moves will be the same. Smash attacks are the moves you use with the right stick. You have up smash, down smash, and side smash, whichever way you are facing. A while in the air gives you neutral air, while pushing up in the air gives you up air, and down does down air. Forward the way you are facing is forward air, and going one way and then quickly pressing the opposite way in the air gives you back air. Now, A while grounded and pushing down on the stick will give you down tilt, and A while dashing will give you a dash attack. B in the air or on the ground is usually a projectile, but varies from character to character. B while pressing to the right or left is your side special, while pressing down is your down special, and up will up special. Obviously, X and Y are jump, bumper is grab, and trigger is shield. And the D-pad gives you your taunts, which don't usually do any damage, but some characters will. Also, an anti-air is using a grounded move to cover your opponent's landing options so that you hit them when they come down. This is all the stuff I wish I knew when I was starting, and can give a base level of knowledge when starting Smash, but at the time I was still very lost and just trying my best to learn Greninja's attacks on my own. And after a while of just being very awkward and uncomfortable with him, I decided to try a game against a level 5 CPU. It did not exactly go well, and for the next few streams I would make almost zero progress because I just didn't understand what to practice. I was still super awkward and messy with my gameplay and had no idea how to fix it. I even saw what other people were doing by watching Pro Greninja gameplay, but I just couldn't translate anything into my own. And at this point, I was 8 hours into the challenge and barely able to beat a level 6 CPU with Kirby and couldn't even beat a level 5 with Greninja. I was struggling, and while in training trying to practice some moves, someone in my Twitch chat offered some help through Discord. So I agreed. I was having a hard time with Greninja and wanted to know what I was doing wrong. Little did I know this would be the best thing possible for this challenge. We joined an arena and almost immediately I had learned something, because one of the biggest things I was struggling with was just the movement of Greninja, and for being one of the fastest characters in the game, it certainly did not feel like that when I played him. But that was because I was not using dash attack, which is when you were just dashing and press A, nearly enough. This is Greninja's main combo starter and can go into a bunch of different attacks, which I would learn later. Another thing I learned in this was what would be the main method of attacking with Greninja. Neutral air, but by doing this little jump cancel by pressing down on the stick right after hitting A, Greninja will return to the ground faster and the attack will last all that time, hitting the opponent if they are on the ground. He said that back air and forward air should be what I use to chase opponents off the stage, and occasionally use counter instead of down air because down air ends in death more often than I'd like to admit. Then I learned what to do after using dash attack. He said to use up air most of the time, but use up smash when the opponent is at lower percents, and this is where things started to really come together. Because I had been learning these moves, but could rarely use them well, as I could never get my opponent into a spot to use them. But this first combo was a way that I could put the moves I had already learned together and actually be able to hit my opponent. And while I was by no means good at it, it was satisfying to see what the moves actually did when used right. Another combo I learned was down tilt into up smash, which kills at about 90%. Grab and throw upward can combo into up air, and grab and throw downward can combo into forward air at mid percent. And I realized that I am starting to use this seemingly confusing terminology a lot. But if you are trying to get better at Smash, I encourage you to just play your favorite character and learn each of their moves, trying out all the ones I talked about earlier, because at the end of the day, each character has the same moves, they just do different things. So getting more comfortable with the motions that I've been saying throughout the video is the best thing you can do. So after about an hour of going over all of my questions, I went into training to practice my movement and some of the combos I had learned, because now I felt like I wasn't so lost and had something I could actually practice and try to get better at, and knew what I was doing wrong. This help and information also gave me the urge to play more, as I started playing off camera more than ever, and this was also the time that I decided to stop doing a timer and just play until I had 100 hours logged into Smash total. And I already had about 60 hours from time on and off stream. But I started my next stream and immediately tried my hand at a level 6 CPU. And did pretty well. I even had a lead for the good majority of the game, but eventually messed up and died. But I was getting better, and while still not dashing enough and using down air and side special way too much, I was trying to break those habits and was getting it. That same stream, however, Snap, who is now kind of my coach, offered another session to help me get better, and he started helping me with the timing of the combo down tilt into up smash, because I was finding that when I did it on my own, I dashed too far past the opponent and would miss them with the attack. So after many tries, I got one. I continued practicing various combos with Greninja and learning his movement more, but I got to a point where I knew that it would all just take time, and doing the same moves and combos and working my way up the levels of CPUs would help the most at this point. However, I next decided to switch to Kirby and have him teach me some about him too, because while he is simple and not necessarily the best character, I still really liked him and wanted to learn more about him, as I still feel more comfortable with him than Greninja even after all this practicing because he is so simple. I learned that down air goes into up tilt and then back air, and it also goes into down smash. I also learned that down air is insane and extremely hard to recover from for the opponent. Other than that, Kirby is very straightforward and, like Greninja, just required practice. The final thing we did for this session was to have me play a level 6 CPU and have him watch me to tell me what I could do better and should prioritize practicing.
Try running up and dashing.
Dash attack? He said going into it to just try dash attacking more, so that's what I did. And while not completely comfortable with it, I felt faster and more smooth than ever, and was able to beat the level 6 CPU and moved on to a level 7, which I also beat with an entire stock left. So clearly this training was helping, and now able to pretty consistently beat a level 6 CPU and then beating a level 7 Ike, I decided to try a level 8, and I got 3 stocked. So clearly I wasn't quite consistent enough for that yet with Greninja, so I kept playing level 7s and beating a Richter with 2 lives left. I was feeling pretty good. I still had my number of losses, however, losing to a Rob and then an Isabelle, so I went into training to do some more practice. From this point on, it was all just time. I had to practice and just get more comfortable with their moves and combos when finally it happened. Because I had been playing Greninja mostly, but Kirby still on and off. But decided to try a level 9 CPU with Kirby, and after losing to a level 9 Dr. Mario, I decided to try one more. This is good. What? What was that? That was actually the most impressive thing I've ever seen anyone do in my life, and it's not even an anyone, it's a robot. That kills, let's go. I just wanted to bait. I died. Dude, the AIs in Smash are like chess AIs. If you're not getting beat by the AIs, the odds are they're going easy on you. No, but I catch him slipping. Let's go. Yes! Let's go! Let's go, dude! I had done it. Within 2 tries, I beat a level 9 CPU with Kirby, but still unable to beat a level 8 with Greninja. This was not a victory just yet. And now able to relatively consistently beat a level 7 with Greninja, I was ready to try a level 8. So I started by practicing what I figured would help the most, and that being using neutral air while canceling the jumps so I returned to the ground faster. Because it really is the easiest way of hitting the opponent while grounded with Greninja, and can be used most of the time in any position. So after just some more time of getting more comfortable with Greninja and fighting a bunch of level 8 CPUs and losing to almost all of them in very close games, I decided to start practicing against level 9s, because that was what I would be facing at the end of this challenge and wanted to be prepared. I started by facing a level 9 Ridley who evened the match up by killing us each in the beginning. But the next stock started a little rough. I was able to pull it back pretty close though until he killed me, but I was able to return a kill almost immediately. The final stock was really close, but eventually I got off a side special to finish it. And clearly this went really well, so I decided to try another. A level 9 Luigi, and he started with a bit of a lead when eventually he killed me, but I had gotten him to about 100%, but was able to kill before taking too much damage on the next stock. And while chasing me off the side of the stage, he kinda killed himself, giving me an extra stock and letting me capitalize to win at the 85 hour mark. But I wasn't done just yet, because I wanted to see how far I could go. How many level 9 CPUs could I beat in a row? The next was a Dark Pit, who I was able to kill twice before losing my first stock and then finished him off pretty easily. I then beat a Falco and a Lucina, losing to a Roy in the middle, but they were all level 9. And while it was amazing to see the progress I had made, there is one thing in common with all of these clips of me killing these CPUs, and that is that almost every single kill is with side special, which for a human is super predictable, but for the AI must be hard. And while I was doing great to get them up to high percents, it was now my goal to use side special for only recoveries and almost never to kill. So now at 90 hours and soon after 95, I was just playing with Greninja in training to practice more and warm up. I also continued playing more and more level 9 CPUs just to get used to how they played, and with hour 100 fast approaching, and as I was getting more and more comfortable with Greninja, it was finally time. So I started like always by just warming up and training, just trying to get comfortable and used to playing, but wanting to waste no time, I decided to try my hand at my first try of 3 against a level 9 CPU. The first game was against Lucas, who I killed once and got to over 100% the second stock, but eventually lost it. I knew I could do better though, and immediately dove into another game, Snake, immediately reminding me of the time I could barely beat a level 6 CPU and had Snap helping me out in the background. This was the one. We stayed neck and neck in the start, trading hits and being overall very even, when finally I found an opening. Soon after though, he was able to blow me up, evening the score, and after trading blows for a few minutes, he killed me, putting things in his favor. but I evened it back up with an up smash for the kill, bringing us to the final stock. I got off some great damage at the start with some up airs, when finally I got him with a dash attack into a forward air and was able to finish him off with a forward smash, winning my second try. Second try! We got it! But I wanted to do one last thing, and that was to 1v1 Snap, the one who had taught me everything I knew, and have him fully try hard just to see how good he really was, and if I could even do anything to him. We started and he played Pokemon Trainer, and I expected to lose pretty badly, but this was another level. I pretty much couldn't touch him and got absolutely destroyed. But if there is one thing you should take from this video, it is not that you need a coach with 1,000 hours in the game to be good. Just play your favorite character, learn their moves and combos, and just have fun with the game.